So, I've started recording. Let me let me share my screen. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So let's run through.
I, I think your background is noisy. It's conflicting with your voice.
My background is noisy. This is supposed to have noise cancellation. Like, is it manageable or very, very noisy?
If there's nothing we can do about it, we just have to manage now.
Like, is it very noisy or is manageable?
It's manageable.
Is it not this command to remove why is it telling me this thing now? Remove right protected regular file. No, delete projects. Let me see. I'm trying to start this process from afresh. Let me close it here. Let me check my browser. Let's try that again. Uh, What is going on, man? I believe by now we must have all downloaded this iPad that I spoke about.
I,
So,
which downloaded what, sir?
hyper. I said we should
I
download
didn't hear
this.
about it though.
We were in the last class. We said this on Friday. It's not as if it's new. I said this on Friday. I said download VS Code, download Hyper. Then I was giving those steps to run JS on. Okay, I guess it is out. And let's go. There's a website you gave to us the other time that gave us that code to. This step. You were here in the last class, right? You were here when we said all these things. So I also said install Node. So I want to bring out that code you shared the other time. I think it should be npx, so that we just do this last view of how we do React.js before we now get fully into okay. This is the code we are looking for, right? npx create React app. So when we do this, what it's going to do is that it's going to install all the dependencies for React and send them into the folder, the directory called my app, right? So let's test that out and see how it goes. So we're just going to maybe have to give it a few minutes to install. I believe you can hear me, right? Hear me, guys.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's just give it a few minutes to run through the installation. You see that with this now, we'll be able to do all what we've been doing on Code Sandbox. So the choice is always yours, whether you like or you want to work with Code Sandbox, or you say no, I like working with I like working with what is it called again? Say no, I like working with the CLI. Whichever one you choose is still very very fine. Oh, come on, come on, come on. So please, as we cannot be doing this together. If you're close to your system, kindly run this command that I just did here. npx create React app, my app. So, I, so just saying that the reason why my audio quality is bad is because of all the things I'm running on the background. Like this OBS studio is quite heavy, so my system is in a little bit. Did you hear what I said? Did anybody say anything?
Your background is quite noisy. We don't even know when you're talking. We don't even know when you're talking or when you're
Okay. Can you hear me?
talking.
Is my
Is my
background still
background
noisy?
still you talk for now?
Okay, finally,
Finally,
our
our
installation is
installation is done.
done. And as you
As
can
you can
see,
see,
what's the
what's the
guide I
guide I
oversee here?
oversee here?
Please
Please,
let's read
let's
this
read this
together.
together. NPM start. NPM run build. NPM test. NPM run eject.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
So as you can see, the very
The
first
very
thing
first
we'll
thing
do
we'll do
is
is
we are
we
going
are
to
going to
enter
enter
that
that
directory,
directory,
right?
right?
Which we
Which we
made,
made,
which
which
is
is
my
my
app,
app.
right?
Right
Now we are
now
in
we are
that
in that
directory.
directory.
And
And
if we
if we
want to
want to
run
run some
CLI, all
CLI,
we
all
have
we
to
have
do
to do
is
is
npm
npm
start.
start.
And
And
then
then it's going to open
our
our
browser.
browser.
Since the
So the
React is
React tab has
constructed,
started.
it's going to
Going to
start
start
running
running
our
our browser on
port
port
3000.
3000.
Wow. So you see
So
why
see
we
why we
said
said
install
install
Node.
Node.
I
I
actually
actually
installed
installed
Node,
Node,
but
but
let's
let's
just
just
say
say
the
the
version on
version
the
on the
system
system
says
is older.
I'm using
Using
my
my
old
old
system.
system.
Since my
Since
new
my new
system is
system
not
was
letting
not letting
Node
me
run.
do.
Alright,
Right,
so
so
this
this
is
is
it
it
opening
opening up in
our
our
browser. Okay, success
success
to
to
end up.
end up.
So,
So,
right,
right,
this is
this
what
is
we
what
see,
we see,
right?
Yeah.
right?
So, this
So this
is,
is,
you can
you
call
can
this
call
more
this more
like
like
your default
default
page
page
wherever
wherever you are.
when it
When it
says
says edit
source
source
app.js and save to
and save
repo.
to
So,
repo. So
we want to
we
go
want to
to
go to
our
our
VS
VS
Code,
Code.
and we have to
Have to
open
open
that
that
directory
directory
exactly.
exactly.
What's the name of
What's
the
the name of the
directory?
directory?
Guys, what's the
Guys,
name of
what's
the
the name of the
directory?
directory?
I think it's my app.
Yes, thank you very
Thank you.
much. So it is my app. We are going to locate it. We come to file, open folder. You have
You
to
have to
be well
be well
aware
aware where
you
you
save
save
your
your
folder,
folder,
right?
right?
Anywhere you
Anywhere you
save it,
save
you
it,
have
you
to
have to
remember.
remember.
Like
Like me now, I
me,
saved it
under
like
my
under my
users. So
users. So if I want to
I actually have
locate
to
it,
come
I actually have to
to
know.
say
So say
this
this,
PC,
this,
then enter the
that
PC,
piece,
then users,
just
Kingary, then my app. Look at it here. So click on select
select
folder.
folder.
Then
Then
everything
everything
about that
about that
folder
folder
will
will
be
go to
right.
right?
Yes,
Choice,
choice. And now,
now,
what did
what did
our
our
browser
browser
say?
say?
It
It
said
said
source app.js,
source.js,
right?
right?
So
So
that's
that's
literally what
literally
we're going
what
to
we
do.
do.
We're going
We're
to
going to
come
come
to
to
source
source
app.js.
app.js.
So
So
here you
here you
can
can
make
make
any
any
edit
edit
you
you
need to
need to
make.
make. Right?
As you
As
can
you can
see,
see,
this
this
logo,
logo,
all
all
this
this
pictures
pictures
was
was
put into
recently
wherever
we have
this is where the
where the
picture
picture
of
of
the
the
logo was
photo
there.
is red.
That's why you
That's why
see
you see
that.
that. So
Now,
now,
if
if
you want
you
to
want to
have
have
a
a
setup
setup
like
like
our what's the
what's
name
name
standards,
standards, right?
you can
You can
simply
simply
just
just
use the
use the
logo that
logo that
is
is
kind of
kind of
like
like
imitating
fitting
it.
in some stuff.
So you
So
can
you
just
can just
decide
decide
to
to what is this?
you can decide
And
to
decide
delete
to do
delete and come you can delete all this
different others, yes, so
app.cs. This one
this
we
one we
don't
don't
need.
do.
All
Or
we need
we need
our
our
app.js.
addresses,
We don't
then
need
you
this. We don't need this. We don't
then
need
you
this. We don't need this. We don't need this. So you can still
think
delete.
it's
Now we
now
have
we are
even
given
all
all
this
this
here.
here.
You
You
don't know
don't know
what.
what
You can
for
just
this
delete all this. You can still delete all this. But the
but
main
the main
thing,
thing,
right,
right,
is we
is we
have
have
this
this
our
our
root.
roots. Yeah,
You
you
remember this
remember this
our
our
root,
roots,
right?
So,
right?
yes, I remember. Sorry, sir. Can you display this the VS Code and the browser side by side? Is it possible?
You would
You
have
would
to
have to
reload.
reload.
It's
It's
not,
not
it doesn't
doesn't
run
run
live.
like
You have
you
to
have to
reload. So
so
Like
okay.
since the VS Code is running on its own and then the browser is on its own. Like, yes, that's what I meant.
This
this
system,
system,
Capsys
this
system
system
is I'm trying
trying
to
to
reduce
reduce.
So,
So,
well, the
well,
main
the
thing
main thing
is
is
you
you
see
see
all
all
those
those
ones who
ones
are
who are
working
working
hard.
hard.
You
You
can
can
come
come
here
here and
and
just
just do
do
everything you
everything
can
that you
do.
prefer.
Like you
Like you
said,
said,
report, react, from
React,
React,
right? All those things we've been doing,
all those
all
things
those
you've
things
been
we've
doing
been doing
on
on
Code
Sandbox.
Sandbox. You can test
Like
it
test
out.
it out,
Bring it
bring it
here.
here.
You can bring
And
it
bring it
here
here
and
and
try it. You can
can
carry
carry
those
those
codes,
codes,
come here
come
and
here
try.
and try that.
Like
Like
now,
now,
all
all
these
these things
things
here, man,
you don't
you
really
don't really
need
need
it.
it.
So
So
you
you
can
can
start
start
writing
writing
your
your
code,
code,
React,
React,
from what
what
else do
else
we
do
do
we do
here?
here?
Eh?
Eh?
My
My
people,
people,
what
what
else do
else
we
do
do?
we
Is it a
do?
comma there?
I want
I
to
want to
render
render
just
just uh,
I want to
I want to
render
render
just
just
hello
hello
world.
world.
You want to render just what?
Hello world.
Hello world. Hello.
So
So
what we
what
have
we
to
have
do
to do
is
is
document dot
document dot
get
get
element by
element by
ID,
ID,
right?
right?
The name of
Name
that
Yeah.
of that
ID
ID is
we will not see what. Let me
and
do
we
this
just
export
expect
first.
first.
This is
This
the
is the
basic
basic
code.
code.
I, I thought you grade that as this thing,
You said?
You said?
as a variable. Hold on.
Okay, this is
Okay,
what
this is
is
what
the
is the
problem
problem
here.
here.
Our
The
script is
script
not
now
here,
is
saying
saying
us.
us to.
So
You know, we want to.
so it
So it
is
is
app.js, right?
app.js, right?
So think is this there. This is source folder. We go out twice. We didn't get now. This thing will
This thing
just
will
turn
just turn
white,
white, giving me hope as if it was the
scan.
scan.
Maybe not fine. Can resolve the line of process. Index.js. So
So
it
it
cannot
cannot
resolve
resolve
index.js,
index.js,
but
but
I'm not
I'm not
using
using
index.js.
index.js.
I'm
I'm
using
using
app.js.
app.js. It
So
is
what
what
is
you
wrong with
want
it?
to
Let me try
try
something.
to
Index.js. Then I come to know I call it index.js.
Hello? The other one, the making use of I don't know if it's applicable
You said
or I'm not
I'm not hearing so
so
I don't
I
want us
don't
to
want us to
spend
spend
too much
much
time on
time on
this.
this.
We are
We
way
are way
past
past
that.
that.
But
So
just know
just
that
know
this
that
is how
it's
to
how
do
to
it.
do
Okay.
it.
So I'm just
I'm
trying to
just trying
tell
to
us
tell
that
us that
everything will
everything
be
will be
running
running our code
our blocks.
blocks.
We
We
can
can
do
do
them
them
here.
here.
It's
It's
literally the
literally the
same
same
process.
process.
You
You
can
can
try that
try that
out.
out.
But
But
just know
just
that
know
on
that
your
on your
system,
system,
we have
we
to
have to
run
run
on
on
port
port
8000.
8,000. Yeah.
So
So
you
you
have an
have an
idea
idea
about
about
back
back
end
end of
Node.js.
Node.js.
To
Help
help you
you
understand
understand this
better.
particular.
And
And
that's
that's
literally
literally
uh, the
the
same
same
thing
thing I'm talking about.
we're
We're
talking
talking
about
about
the
the
importance of
importance of
Node.js.
Node.js.
So
So
let
let
me
me
stop
let's
sharing
share
my
this
screen.
with you. So
Let me
look at the
switch to my
system of
other laptop.
that.
So
Just
so
so that
that
we go to
we'll look
look
at
at
so we'll be able to look
look
at
at
React Native. Even to stop sharing
start
screen.
sharing things.
This one
So
no green. All right. I'm glad we all agree that this code doesn't look new to us, right? And that simply okay. The answer you can't use audio. Okay. And that is simply because we have been working with codes like this, right? We saw this from JavaScript, then started doing this in React.js. So that is simply that, right? And as you can see, it helps us create native apps both Android, for both Android and on iOS devices, right? And when we say that, like maintain when we say native, like when we say React Native, what we simply mean is that these applications will be native to whatever platforms that they have. So if you want to use the primary ringtone or button press from iOS, as far as you pass in the function that you should use so notification sound on iOS, if you pass in that same function when you're developing for Android, it is the Android sound that will play. That's notification sound native to the Android platform. That's what will play. And same thing with the iOS platforms, right? And in setting this up, I think we'll come to development, then guides. Then we have to come to environment setup, setting up the environment. And as you can see, we've seen now Expo Group and CLI. So with this, we can see that there are mainly two types of React Native, right? There are mainly two types of React Native. What are they? What are they now?
CL, CLI.
Somebody was saying something. I didn't get you. Was somebody saying something? Okay. And then we said we have two types of React Native, right? Um, React Native Expo. And what is React Native Expo? So as beginners, right? What Expo does, right? It just gives us that hands-on, practice on how React Native works. Like it sets everything we need, we literally let's just look at the definition here. So Expo excels in providing a streamlined and beginner-friendly experience, right? Making it an excellent choice for quick prototyping and simpler projects. React Native CLI. So what Expo does, just like we saw on our React, right? All we did is we just installed, we just did npx my React app, just installed React and things like that. React was set up, right? The React app was set up. So then we even saw an animation on the web page. That's an insight to how Expo looks like. Okay, that's an insight to how Expo looks like. So Expo gives you more like it's providing you a template for you to just simply edit, and you have your mobile app up and running, right? That's just an example of how Expo looks like. But CLI, on the other hand, it is where you have full control. And remember, we actually spoke about CLI before now. We said CLI gives us full control over our software, right? And I gave some instance when I was, creating empty files, creating folders, doing a couple this and that. I mentioned that some of these things I was doing, we would really not be able to do them. We really may not be able to do them with normal GUI, right? Our graphical user interface. We saw how we may not be able to get them done with normal GUI. And that's the vitality of CLI. Gives us more power. The same thing React Native. So you can still liken React Native Expo to GUI, where you just, you have here and there to click. For the CLI, is where, like the definition here says, with its vast customization options, is the preferred route for complex applications, demanding intricate control over native models and configuration. So with so so I believe this is understood, right? Oh, guys,
Yes, but I'm trying to get I'm just covering on the export just to see more
so
detailed information.
I'm kind of like I'm, I'm kind of like struggling to hear you. So maybe you just type in the chat box or something. So let me just ask you guys a question. Would you prefer we do React Expo on use it to round up the class, or we do React CLI, which is more advanced? It give us, better proficiency and make us know that yes, we want try. Which one would you like us to go into? So just type in the chat box. Let's let's vote. React Expo, React Native Expo, React Native CLI. Those for CLI, type CLI. Those for Expo, type Expo. Nobody has typed anything in the chat box. Expo. Edikan said Expo. No wonder you like you feel like Expo. Let me type my own. PNI. My own vote is equivalent to 2 votes. So, Chikeze, are you voting or not? So, um, like, Keze no one talk. Okay, no problem. Keze don't go. So, I guess we have to. Okay, thank you, Vika. So, Expo is pretty easy. It's something that you can just simply go around and really watch yourself and learn from yourself, right? It's not really complex. So, all we have to do is follow the guide. They said install the Expo Go app on your iOS and Android phone and connect to the same wireless network as your computer on Android. Use the Expo Go app to scan the QR code from your terminal to open your project. On iOS, use the built-in QR code scanner for the default blah blah blah. So it's just that easy, right? Or you just have to download this app and you just build it on the go. So that's the Expo Go. But for CLI is where the main development starts, right? If we want to do CLI, all we simply have to do is come here, React Native CLI quick start, and now these are usually the instructions given to us. Follow these instructions if you need to build native code in your project. For example, if you are integrating React Native into an existing application, or if you run preview, blah blah blah, from Expo to the instructions. The instructions are a bit different depending on. So this is where complexity comes in, right? And these things at this juncture is not really something I should be like doing on my own. It's not really something I should like be doing on my own. I think it is something everybody has to, join hands together and get sorted. So it's setting this up. You just have to simply choose the operating system. What system are you using to do this? Is it Mac OS? Is it Windows? Is it Linux? So this is one of the reasons some Mac OS guys has the advantage over Windows operating system, because with Mac OS, you see, you can build for Android and you can still build for iOS. Remember, Android is open source, so anybody can build for iOS. The same thing for Linux. If you're on Linux, you can build for Android, but you cannot build for iOS. If you are on Windows, you cannot build for iOS. You can only build for Android, right? So unfortunately, we may have to stick with just Android since majority of us are. You want to say something, smart boss?
Yes, sir. But you just highlighted on the Windows and you still showing the package the OS with the Android and iOS.
Huh? I'm not
Okay, or
hearing
you did not
you.
highlight the iOS.
I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. What
Can
is
you hear?
wrong with your mic? Hey, this is better now.
Can you?
This is better now. What were you using before that somebody
I'm
can
using AirPods. Sir.
That's why I think you. So what were you
I
saying?
I was using AirPod.
Want to be like me? I don't know that my own.
Okay, I say that
earbud.
uh, I was using a you clicked on the Windows, but the Windows is showing the target OS is showing Android and iOS. Is it that the iOS will not highlight when you click while using the Windows?
No, no, no. You didn't get what I said. I said when you are using you only it's only Mac OS users. I started saying that Mac OS people that use that is Apple laptop, people that use Apple laptop, they have the advantage
Uh,
over us in the sense that they'll be able to build for both iOS, right? So iOS meaning
for
iPhones
both
and all
years
those other
and the
iPad, and then they'll still be able to, they'll be able to build for iOS and they'll be able to build for Android. That's what I said. But I also mentioned that iOS is not
oh,
open source. iOS is not open source. So only those that has that access can do it. So Windows users, if you're using Windows, you cannot develop, you will not be able to use React Native to build iOS app.
no,
As you can see, a Mac is required to build projects
okay,
with code, with native code for iOS. You've seen that, right? You can follow the Expo Quick Start to learn how to
yeah,
build React using Expo instead. So you can maybe go and check out Expo, right? The same thing
yeah.
for Linux operating system. So since majority of people are on Windows, and still majority of users are Android users, right? We have more Android users than iOS users. So we may just have to work on Android. So, but it's still the same thing. And remember, before now, what did we say is used to develop Android apps? What did we say we used to develop Android apps?
React, React Native.
Like not the cross platform, the normal language. Android developer. See what we mentioned here. Have you forgotten what we
Okay,
said
okay,
here?
okay.
And we said for iOS it is what? Said is Swift programming language, right? And that we needed the Xcode development environment, right? So it's still the same thing that will come here. So we have to follow the steps, right? We have to follow the steps. And as you've seen, like they said here, that they recommend we need Node, right? They recommend we install Node via Kubernetes. And maybe there are reasons for that. In the package manager for Windows, it's recommended to use an NTS version of Node. If you want to, you need to switch between different packages. You might want to install Node via NVM Windows, the Node manager for Windows. So they say it also requires Java SE development kits.
I can hear you, sir. It's like your system. Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Sherry. Yes, I can hear you, sir. Sir, I was actually trying to ask you a question more. Sir, why in this thing dey plenty like this? Its requirement is more true. Have you seen the warning?